population in the last 50 years. Okay, I estimate just the days of the temperature hit an all-time high in 18 Celsius. According to that study, compared to previous high 17 as according to this is according to the meteorological agency of the country. Highest temperature is A, B, C, D. D. Registering current and past records of the queen population. The recent count revealed. Okay, so this is D, A, B, C, C. Places where people cannot go to. Places where Chinese trash being wind. Measures to protect ocean species. Factors contributing to the decline of the amount of food available. Factors contributing to the decline or in the amount of food available. Factors. Okay. Factor species. Okay. Measures at of a specific species. This is where chain straps penguin live. Chain straps penguin. So factors contributing the growing amount of food available for the chain. So this is this one. Yeah. Okay. A, B, C, D, E. So this is E, E, E. Okay, places where people cannot go to. Places where people cannot go to. Also know where okay lives. In some parts of have declined over the 50 years, mostly because of change and also 50 years mining becomes a burden because okay, so this is A B B. This is B. Places where people cannot go. Places where cannot. Chain straps. Chain straps penguin has a cap of black on it. Flag. Same side of the head of the adult, same northern part of the Antarctic savanna. Some islands hanging on between the Greenland are the habits of the species. Okay, so this is a, a places where people cannot go. Places where people cannot go. C, D, A, B, C, D, D, E, F, F. Mm, F, G, G, H. G. Has been documenting the threat origins worldwide, taking the engine traveling abroad for the this time the law. Atlantic has been surveyed probably the manual and drone techniques are used to survey from stunning in to survey a series of significant but relatively unknown colonies of giant being here. The results are, however, not evident. Greenpeace has been banning that real terrain will be established to offer protection to many of colonies survive this. We optimists to humans. Okay, places where cannot people go. So this is G. Okay. The IUCN showed ICUN. ICUN. Okay. Showed little concern about the fall in penguin. Showed little concern about the fall in penguin numbers. UCN. Okay. And had declined over the 50 years mostly because of the climate change. Search the colonies had maybe 50 years and discovered that the fundings become surprising because Chinese trips have been deemed of least concern, penguin numbers, by international union, least concern. Until now, the Chinese trips have been deemed of least concern by the international union, showed a little concern about the fall became surprising because until now the is concerned and the fall through. Okay, climate change is the reason for the changes in the food chain of chain strap penguin. So food, something in the food. So E, A, B, C, D, E, underlying factor and the effects are linked through the food chain. So climate change is the reason for changes in the food chain of giant shrimp. Okay, and it's a warmer ocean due to climate change have led to less krill, the main component of penguins died. When died, climate change is probably the underlying factor and the effect are rippling through the food chain, single-celled penguins, seals, and whales. And the girl, which depends on ice, if affect the ice impacts. Climate change is the reason for changing the food chain. Okay, reason factor is the reason changes through. Gene to penguins are not affected by climate change. Gene to penguins. Uh, okay, ecology evaluation of Assistant change in the 50 years impact of eliminating the food web species like chain penguins. She added several factors may play a role in evidence pointing to climate change and for the changes we are seeing. Okay, Gento. However, some good news was also there, as they said, reported an increase in Gento penguins population in neighboring colonies beyond the Elephant Island. It is interesting a tale of two penguins and the Gento is a species from further north, and they appear to be colonizing the area and are actually increasing in number. Okay, so are not affected. This is true. True, and this is a little concern the fall in penguin numbers, not given number. I mean, okay. Only one word from the passage. The Greenpeace ship has used to record the marine life over the world. Marine life over the world. Okay. Then the threat of oceans worldwide. The threat record has been documenting the threat to marine life over the world. The threat, okay, record the threat to marine life over the world and carry the overseas. Taking the scientists for traveling abroad, carry the scientist, okay, build to protect many surveyed colonies. Many build for the first time, the low island in the sheeted north of Atlantic has been surveyed, probably to protect many surveyed colonies. And probably the manual and drone techniques uh, are used are used by the researcher from Stony Brook and the University in Boston to survey a series of significant but relatively unknown colonies of chain-stem penguin here. The results are, however, not yet available. Has been campaigning for the 3 seconds that it be established over protection to many of the colonies surveyed. This would be off limits to humans. Greenpeace has been campaigning build a three Antarctic ranges that will be established for protect many colonies, build green bees. Mm, Results are not yet have been campaigning for e establish. Okay. Um, and now has been surveyed probably the manual and drone techniques are used by the researchers from Stony Brook and Northern University. There is a series of significant but relatively unknown colonies of chain-strap penguin here. The results are, however, not yet available. Greenpeace has campaigning for the three Antarctic sanctuaries. Okay. Build sanctuaries, scientists threat. Okay. So this is true, not given. Okay. Description of a specific species. Description of a specific species. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, F, G, F. Janto penguins. English independent colonies, the tail of two penguins No, gentle species from further north and the describing of specific Asian species. In number, this is F. F. Okay. Okay. The IU. The IU. Okay, so here it says the findings became surprising because until now the chain straps have been deemed of least concern by the international. So the IA showed little concern about the fall in penguin numbers. Findings. Colonies in some parts of them have declined over the 50 years, mostly because of the climate change. Researcher says the colonies of Chinese striped penguins, also known as ranged or bearded penguins, have dramatically dropped since they were last surveyed almost 50 years ago. Scientists discovered the findings became surprising because until now, the Chinese labs have been deemed of least concern by the international IUCN. We really didn't know what to expect, and we found this a huge decline in the Elephant Island nose garden. Okay, IUCN showed little little about the fall in penguin numbers. Penguin numbers affected. The climate change is the reason for the change in the food chain of climate change. Climate change and the food. Probably the underlying factor is for the change in food chain of chain stress trapping things. Climate change. Integral demand combination with diet. Climate change is probably the underlying factor is happening through the food chain. Okay, true, not given. Okay, great scientist. Okay, submit. There is three mistakes. Okay, F. So this is A. Description of a specific species. Chinese crab. Penguin has a cup of black plumage, white face. Okay, so Chinese crab, not an. Okay, so this is a description of a specific species. Okay, this is A. False, true, not given. Okay, so false, not given. False, not given. False, as I thought. This is false. The ICN showed little concern about the fall in penguin numbers. No, false. Okay, why false? Explain. The passage indicates concern from the ICN as chain straps were deemed of least concern, but a decline was noted. Until now, the chain straps have been deemed of least concern by the internationally. Okay, so the passage indicates concern from the ICN. The chain straps were deemed of least concern. Okay, child concern. Climate change is true, and this is not given. Gento penguins are not affected by climate change. Not given. Why not given? Says research reported an increase in Gento penguin population. The passage indicates Gento populations have increased, suggesting they are not negatively affected like other species. So it's not given. Okay. Okay.